Welcome back, students and parents. Today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions, and we were working in class on drawing some tape diagrams to show equivalent fractions. So one example we're going to start with is 1/4, all right? And the students were asked to find two equivalent fractions to each fraction. So we'll start by drawing a tape diagram that has 4 squares. From here, the 4 is going to represent how many parts we've split the whole into. And now the top number is going to be how many parts are shaded. So again, top or numerator, bottom or denominator. Numerator equals shaded. Denominator is going to be total parts. So again, this would be 1 of 4 are shaded, or 1/4. The next, they were asked to make an equivalent fraction. There are a few different ways to do this. The most straightforward way with a picture is going to be, let's draw the same size, and this is important, the same size tape diagram, and split it into those 4 parts still. The quickest way to make equal but smaller parts is to draw a line straight down the middle. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that denominator is now an 8. To make this equivalent, we need to shade the same amount of area or space. So now we need 2 of these 8 to come up with that. So 2/8 is an equivalent fraction. The next example they could do in multiple different ways, but an easy way that we showed them was, if we start again, we want that same size tape diagram. And now what if we split it into even smaller parts? So let's use 2 lines now that give us still equal parts. I know it's not exactly perfect because of my drawing, but each of these would be equal parts. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our denominator is going to be 12. Now, to shade or to come up with the same amount of shaded space, we need to shade 1, 2, and 3 for our numerator. So that's going to be 3/12 is an equivalent fraction to 1/4. Another thing we saw was that 1/4, an easier or a different way to do this is if you multiply it by a fraction that is a whole number. So let's say we multiply it times 2/2. That's going to be 1 times 2 gives us 2. 4 times 2, and we'll write it here so that there's no confusion, is going to give us the 8. All right. So again, 1 times 2 gives us, and we don't need that second times 2 to make it less confusing, sorry about that, is going to give us 2. 4 times 2 gives us 8. All right, that is one way we can find it. Let's go over another example. Another one they were asked was 1/3. So again, we're going to break this or go around and make a tape diagram around 3 boxes this time. We are going to shade 1 of the 3 boxes. There is our 1/3. To find an equivalent fraction, we're going to do the same steps. We're going to go ahead and draw the same size box, split it into the first 3 parts, and again, we can now split this down the middle with that one line to come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. We have 6 parts, so the 6 now becomes our numerator, or excuse me, our denominator. To find the numerator, we are now going to shade in so that we have the same amount of area shaded. That's going to be 2 of the 6 parts. And once again, we're going to find one more equivalent fraction, start out with the same amount of boxes. This time, we are going to do 2 lines. One line here and one line right here. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 for the denominator. And then we're going to come up with 1, 2, and 3 parts of that to equal that same number, or to have an equivalent fraction. So it's 3/9. Once again, to check, they could have done 1/3, and I'll write it this way this time just to make it a little bit different, times 2/2, and we go straight across for right now. That's going to give us a 2, and that'll give us a 6. So that checks out. The other one could have been 1/3 times 3/3, and that equals straight across 3/9. 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, and that checks out for that one. So go ahead and review this a couple times. If you have any questions, we will be going over equivalent fractions some more in the future. So definitely, as always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Have a great night, you guys.